Amazing. All righty. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Coinversation here at the Royal Australian Mint. My name is Sarah. I'm the Public Programs Officer here, and I'm coming to you from Ngunnawal country. And to start, I would like to acknowledge that we are on Ngunnawal country in language. Dawara Nuna, Dawara Nunawal, Yangu Nalawiri, Duni Manyin, Nanawawari, Dawawawari, Ningaradindi, Wangarali Jinyin. Thank you everyone so much for joining us today. I'm very excited for our conversation today. We are talking about a coin that actually came out a few years ago and was part of the Star Dreaming series, and that is the Emu in the Sky coin, and that featured art on it by Scott Sauce Towney, a Wiradjuri artist. So we have Sauce here with us today to chat about his coin and kind of reminisce and look back and talk about the amazing design and the coin. Hi, Sauce. Welcome.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you for having me here.
Can you tell us a little more about yourself, where you're from, and your art?
Yeah, I'm Scott Sauce Towney. Let's go back and begin. I suppose born in a little place in Peak Hill in Wiradjuri land. Proud Wiradjuri person. It's probably the best way to describe it. It's in between Dubbo and Parkes on the Newell Highway. It's only a small little town, about 900. I'm one of 5 boys, the middle child. A single parent dad, and my nan was our mother. She reared us up. She was a very special person. Like she knew a lot about women's cultural stuff and that, which 5 boys didn't want anything to do with it. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, that was our home, our lifestyle. I've about done all my schooling in Peak Hill. In my late teenagers, about 17, I met Carol, my wife.
Oh.
17, yeah. We had 5 kids. We're still together now. We've got 6 grandkids, and yeah, we had 3 kids in Canberra. We had 14 years stint down there, so we decided to move back to Peak Hill. Yeah, which I am to this day now. And yeah, a bit about my artwork too. When I was doing artwork ever since I can remember. The earliest thing I can remember, I like little snippets of memories. I was just about 2 or 3 years old, and cousins come across the road and they showed me these awesome, like they were so silly now you look at them, but they were silhouette style cartoons of a person, and I was just amazed how they just started from a blank canvas and just done this in about 3 seconds. Like they're pretty corny now when you look at them, but I was just amazed how it just came from nothing. From then on, I was hooked. I had a passion. Like I was just trying to make all these different, trying to portraits and landscapes at a young age. And yeah, from then on, I just stayed with that sort of style and just right up till, since I started before the coin and that, I started changing a bit of art styles and that. And yeah, I could talk a bit about how that came about too. Or that's how the coin came about, actually, changing different art styles.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'd love to hear that. So it sounds like art has always been kind of a part of who you are, a part of your life. You've always been creating.
Everything I can remember. Yep, it's always been there since them early memories. My cousin showing me those early cartoon style faces. I was just hooked, and yep, just tried to improve and better myself from till this day now. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people say I'm a good artist, like a master. I do portraits, brilliant portraits and stone landscapes, but like they don't sell as much and stuff like that. And that's not me. Like more Wiradjuri, that's not Wiradjuri sort of stuff. But like to get to that stage and all that, like. But they say you're so talented and all that, but to me, I'm still learning. I don't think you never stop learning, and which is awesome thing about art. Like it's you're always picking up sorts of different stuff, and I'm always doing different mediums too. Like how that coin came about. It was I was doing wood portraits, wood burning portraits, and landscapes on wood, and with a hot iron, a hot
Okay.
and yeah, that was I was doing a. Should I tell you about how the coin came about?
Yeah. Tell us about how that kind of sounds like we're kind of heading there naturally. So
Yeah, I was
yeah.
trying.
Tell us
I
about
was
how
trying,
that came about.
well, I was doing this wood burning at the time. As another medium, like I said, is and I done this in Wiradjuri land. Okay, like we've got these tree carvings, and like to the white person, they could be like they might be headstones. You know, like these are memorial carvings of people that's passed, but it's more spiritual to us. And some of these got these intricate carvings in them, and the more intricate it is, the more important that person is. Apparently, anyways, these carvings they got geometric designs and cross hatches and sort of wavy designs in them. So I won't copy off one, but I get a lot of inspiration off a lot of them, plus nature too, and all that. So I had a lot of them designs in them, and a guy named Trevor Lehman and his wife, they're astronomers, I think amateur astronomers, and they had a project through the university they were going through. They had to do so they got grants to do these constellation stories or Wiradjuri stories all over. So they went around Wiradjuri and got these stories. So then they needed an artist to draw these constellations, and they came across this wood burning that I'd done on the internet, and what it was one of those carved trees, one of my contemporary designs, and I had it like it was all sawn up into like someone came along and just cut it all into slices, and that was just like self-explanatory, like it was, like how our culture was being, removed and stuff. And they Trevor looked at that, and his wife looked at that, and they went, "Oh, that's the guy." So I'd done his commission that were done about 13 drawings of constellations, star stories all over Wiradjuri country. He picked the appropriate ones, obviously, for me to draw, and about a year down the track and all that, we had a astronomy conference in Parks Library, and I don't know too much about astronomy, only just certain stories that was handed down and stuff. So I'm just going over there, my drawings are getting hung up and had a media and that there. So I was just going over there, just to sit in the background sort of thing. I thought I was supposed to be anyways. And so Trevor got up. Well, we had a bit of a talk with the media and that. And then we got up and he had a speech. I had to stand up next to him. Don't know why. I don't know anything. There's more star stories that I could tell these guys, like they know everything about stars apparently. About halfway through the conversation, he goes, and Scott Towney, our artist here, he'll be getting a $5 commemorative coin. I knew nothing about it. It was like he just like spat it straight out in the meeting, and I knew nothing at all. So I'm just sitting there, and I was trying to think. I was thinking, did I just hear that right? I totally went blank with the rest of his speech, and I was trying to think, was that right? What I heard? It must have been because the crowd went wow, like all that. So yeah, that's how I found out, and that was totally surprised to me. Awesome. To this day, it's still one of the probably biggest gigs I ever done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an exciting little story that I thought I'd share with you about how I got that gig. It was totally surprising me. They could have rung me up and told me, but I suppose they wanted to see a shock from me in front of a crowd and all that, see what my reaction was going to be or something like that.
Yeah. So, on finding out, did you then have to do much to adapt? Because that artwork was obviously made for a different reason. What was it like adapting it then to go on a coin? Because a coin, and we've talked about this in our previous conversations, they're quite small. You have to be really careful with how things are displayed on them, making sure they fit, making sure they can go through the presses and everything. So, yeah, what kind of adaptations and work did you have to do to change the medium onto a coin?
But it wasn't too much, Sarah. It was because the artwork was already done, and they had that was I think they just needed Carol and Dwayne. I think the guy was at the Mint. They were collaborating a fair bit. What sort of format they needed in because they already had the artwork. They just needed to digitalize and that sort of stuff. So the artwork was already there, so they didn't have to do too much. But in the carbon department where the etches are and all that. I thought that like my the way I do my artwork is like not geographical, geometric sort of cross hatches and all that. And I've done a few contemporary carved poles here at home. You know, like I call them sculpture poles, like the memorial poles I do. And I was thinking to myself, oh, they'd be perfect. The carvers would love these because of how sharp the lines are and all that. So yeah, I was even thinking. I said, "Geez, I'd love to be at the Mint, just have one, just to have a go at these carvings too." You know,
Yeah.
I do a bit of carving myself, and to see the final product, how it like to this day, it's still one of the biggest gigs, and to see it all come out and evolve from how we started from talking to the Mint, and how it all, because it didn't happen overnight. Like it was a long process. And like even the other constellations, the emu was different than the other ones. Like the other ones were based on star points in the sky, and so how he sent that to me, he just sent me the direct points in the sky on a sheet of paper. So then what I just normally done with some other constellations, I trace some paper, mark the dots, and he said once you got them dots, look, you're drawing yours. You might want to do the wagon, the crow. Draw the crow, whatever, make sure it's in those dots. So I just had a free run with it. I had fun. It was fun. But the emu in the sky, that's different. That's not with the dots. It's in the sky. My grandmother, when she was young, that was the first sky story she told me up about the emu in the sky. And it was funny how it all comes around, this emu in my life, because I've done a book for the Questacon down there, Emu in the Sky too, as well. I illustrated a book for them. And now this coin came into the loop too. So this emu from your grandfather, from your nan stories. So so that coin, that emu was the only one that didn't. It's like it was in the darkness of the sky. It didn't have dots or anything to join, so it was just up there, and it's significant to a lot of all cultures. You know, like it, not our culture, a lot more of our other nation people, like from all over the country. They'd have different meanings of different stages of that emu. Like when it's on legs and all that, you can't see the legs. When it's legs, like they'd be nesting, you can't touch their eggs. In other parts, they'd be saying, "Oh, other areas, it's time to kind of get dingo pups or stuff like that." So we don't have dingoes out here. But you understand like the different story that it's so significant that emu is more with all the stories of with the culture of all the other than any other constellation in the sky. That it's that emu is the main fellow. I think that's why it stands out a lot. I think, and that's why the coin got grabbed up a lot very fast. I think because your cousins that tried to ring me up as soon as it came out. They said they sold out. It got nothing to do with me.
Yes, yeah, it was very popular. So yeah, you talked a little bit about that constellation itself, and for those that aren't familiar, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but my understanding of that constellation, it's kind of the blank spaces between the stars, correct?
Yeah.
And people may have heard of the Bruce Pascoe book called Dark Emu, and that's what he's referring. He's referring this constellation because it's those black spaces. And as you mentioned, it does have significance for First Nations groups all across Australia. Can you tell us a little bit about like kind of the stories that you know about it and your connection to the constellation and to the stories?
Yeah, well, like I know other groups and all that. They know that. Well, they don't know, haven't got dates and that to work off. So they've got these symbols of that in the sky that tells them what time things,
like the position of it.
Yeah. When positions, when it starts off, you can hardly see the emu, so he's just sort of evolving. Then he's there. You can see his body, you see his legs, so he's sitting down. So other tribes say, right, it's not ready to go out and for their eggs. It's not ready. It's not ready for them berries over there or the stuff in the ground. You know what I mean? It's like he was like a calendar to a lot. Like astronomers, they're observers of the stars. Back then, they had to rely on the stars to live, to survive in that. They were the first astronomers, the first observers, but they lived by the stars. So that's why the emu is, I think one of the main colours, because it's like it's the biggest colour up there. He only comes out in certain months of the year. You know, he doesn't come out through like all the summer months and all that. It's around June, July, August, and that sort of area. We'll see him in full. Yeah,
All
but
right, so now's the time. So we were saying it's a little bit rainy where we are at the moment, so there's lots of clouds in the sky. But maybe if you've got a clear night, it sounds like now is the time of year that people can go out and look for that emu.
yeah, but you don't like you look. If you're looking at the stars, you're looking at the wrong place. You're looking at the blackness. And I tell you a hint, where the Southern Cross is, like
Yep.
everyone knows where the Southern Cross is, the dark spot to his bottom left, it's almost connected to the Southern Cross, or that's his head. So work back from that.
Okay, that's a great tip.
That'll give you a little.
Yeah, I've always struggled to see it, and but no, that's a really great tip. Next time there's a clear night, I'll head out and have a look.
Southern Cross, the head, yep.
Yeah. And you mentioned before that, this was a huge project. When you look back at kind of the work that you've done, it's kind of a key moment. How did you feel when you first saw that coin in person?
I had no idea what was going to come out and look like for a start. The shock of it, like that was amazing. That was first to me. Then knowing it was coming, it was like surreal. Like it was you knew it was coming, but you wasn't like it's a coin. You're gonna have a coin like of your, and it wasn't sinking in. Like sometimes it still doesn't sink in now. And I'm looking at it now, but yeah, it was. So it was surreal, and I was humble too. Like I'm humble about everything I do. I don't like talking too much about my artwork, but I have to. I've got to promote what I do, but plus I don't want to. It's to draw the line. It's sort of a big note in yourself and skype yourself up, but you've got to promote yourself in a decent sort of way too as well. But yeah, it's one of the biggest gigs when I first seen it. Like I'm the old man, like he lives up the old people's house up there. And like the first time I opened the box, just because I had a few delivered to me, went straight in the car, took it straight up to my old man. I said, hey mate, you got the first one. Even around town, telling everyone all over town, I've got the first coin that was I didn't want to tell him that it wasn't the first coin that was stamped, but it was the first coin I got off me anyway. So I didn't want to burst his bubble there. But yeah, the whole family, everyone was so wrapped. They was, like amazed, didn't believe that a family member could have a coin, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
Well, I reckon, yeah.
Yeah, coins I think are very underestimated. They're something that we use every day and we see every day, but they are this really great way of storytelling and bringing stories to the nation. And as we were talking about before we started, collectors really get behind these objects. So I can imagine it must have felt really special to be a part of that history and a part of that story.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Back then, I'd just like to share something with you too. I was reading an article when it first came out, and a few viewers might have read the same article. I don't know. They were interviewing a coin shop holder. Someone sent me the link when all the coin was released and all that. And I had a few links, and I was just reading this article, and this guy said it was the fastest selling coin in his shop that he ever had.
Wow.
And I went, what? And I could just put that down to one reason. See, in Wiradjuri, we do a lot of. I'll go back to the artwork now, and this is probably why this opens a lot of doors to me. I do a lot of contemporary Wiradjuri patterns in my work. You can tell by the emu and all that. I do them as like there are a lot of things you'd see on a scar tree, but also in nature as well. So I don't copy off scar tree like I said before, but I'll get inspiration from it. And a lot of Wiradjuri artists, so we've got the biggest, if not the biggest nation in Australia. We're one of the biggest. And a lot of the artists in Wiradjuri, they do a lot of the dot paintings. Everywhere else do dot paintings, and that's more central desert, central Australia, more area.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to young people which do dot paintings and all that. I still encourage them to do it. Mate, you're still preserving our culture no matter what you're doing. You're doing beautiful artwork, but try and encourage them just to maybe add a few of the, because it's appropriate if you add a few Wiradjuri patterns as well in there. And there's not many people doing Wiradjuri patterns. Because we're one of the biggest countries, they just jumped on the bandwagon with the dots. which is still good. You know, he's still preserving. But I think if they can add more of our own country in there as well, you know, it'll open a few more doors for them. And that's why I think the coin it exploded, because there's not much Radri art out there, and I think when people see Radri art, in it might be a contemporary form, but because they take a lot of pride because they were Radri, I think a lot of it got snapped up because of that reason. Because they can identify with their own sort of art when they see Radri sort of, even in contemporary formats there, you know, but they can still identify with it, and they can own it more, because a lot of them, I don't think they're not sure the dots. I think they think there's dots all everywhere, but I just try to educate them in a polite way, but keep preserving your culture in the way you with the dots. Beautiful. Don't stop. Don't ever stop it. Just add a few contemporary Radri patterns in there, brother, because we're Radri, you know, and yes, I'm trying to start a little movement there as well with these patterns, trying to get other artists to maybe you know, and it's amazing how it opened. Just those patterns open so many doors for me.
Yeah, and I think I know that's something that I really love about the design. It's not when a lot of people think about Indigenous art in Australia, they do think about the dots, but
Yep.
it is so diverse. Australia is a huge country. Everybody has, like, every group has different ways of expressing, and I think it's really clear in this. You can see those kind of geometric designs, and and I think as you said before about, you know, your geometric designs kind of lend themselves really well to coins because of the medium. And so I think that's why it reads so well on this coin as well.
Yeah, as I looked at it, and I said they're similar to the way I carve my totem poles, and I have fun carving those totem poles, and not totem poles, sorry, I call them sculpture poles. Yeah, and I was thinking all the time, just looking at it, I said, those etches down there must have had fun, just like they sharp edges and all that, you know, like it'd be different to, you know, something they'd be normally used to. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, it does. It's perfect with that sort of stuff, you know, like for that for coin.
So if we could get you in the Mint office for a day, what do you think you would put? Like, if you were going to tell another story on a coin, what kind of story would you tell if you were going to do another one?
I think it's close to me. It might be a bit of a sensitive subject, but I've got a lot of family members that were involved in it. Stolen generation, maybe that would be good, but I wouldn't know how to. Like, if I was to design it, which, you know, like probably would never that'll come around again. I wouldn't know how to do that in that sort of format. So that's be sort of that'd have to be. You know, like, how would you do a stolen generation coin? You'd have to do some collaboration with people with ideas and that sort of stuff. So yeah, so
yeah, well, we do make lots of commemorative coins that commemorate, you know, anniversaries of war events and things like that. So I don't think that's like, I think that's on the right track of the kind of things that we do, some kind of commemorative symbolism around the stolen generation. I think that'd be amazing to see.
And it sort of gives everyone, you know, you don't. What happened in the past happened in the past. You can't blame anyone now for what happened in the past. But it just gives people a, you know, they'll pick up a coin and it might just plant that seed in their head and just go, oh yeah, you know, like start reflecting on, you know, like, I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. It happened to my uncles and stuff, that sort of stuff. But you know, it just gives them a little reflection of what happened in the past and that sort of stuff. You know.
Yes, start the conversation, and that's kind of what our coins do and what our designs do. So
plant that seed.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
definitely.
That would be one I'd love to sort of see. But there's probably a few others, but that'd be probably off the top of my list.
That's one close to your heart that you'd like to see.
I've dealt with actually like there's lots of people my generation and younger that've got aunties and uncles and mothers that probably went through that situation. But
yeah, definitely an important story to tell. We are coming towards the end of our little chat here. Oh my God, Scott Sauce, this has been great, and just hearing you talk about your art.
Nice. Thank you.
I like one that I would love to ask, and so people after this maybe can follow you. Where else can people see your art, your other art?
Look your name up on social media, and it'll come with a bunch of links to Facebook, to
Oh, yeah.
Instagram. Just got to
Awesome.
type in
Just type in
Sauce Towney.
Sauce Towney on Google or anything like that. Could I just get my daughter to jump in? She's
Yeah,
sort of
no worries at
the
all.
brains behind that. This is Tiana, my
Yeah.
daughter.
Well, we can always we can pop the links when we pop this up onto YouTube. We can put all links to your social media in there as well.
Easiest way, you just type in Sauce Towney. You don't even have to put in art. You type in Sauce Towney and it'll come up with everything. The first thing actually that it comes up with is him and the mint coin. So it'll go from there down, and anything he's ever done is usually on the Google.
Too easy.
Thanks for that.
Thanks.
Cool. So that's most of the, I think we've covered, I had all these questions laid out, but honestly, Sauce, our conversation kind of just flowed naturally and you answered pretty much everything that I wanted to ask. So we're going to bring in Georgia, because I think she might have some questions that have come. We might stop sharing the image, George, if that's okay. And did you have any questions from our audience?
Yep, I was just going to ask, can you take us through the different compositions and elements of the coin while we still have it up?
Oh, great.
Well, the emu, the bottom part, all that was done by you guys at the mint. I didn't do I just done the emu in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just basically done in I'd done that in like a pen on this cotton paper, and it was, I'd love doing pen. You know, you get these sharp edges, and like it's like a what do you call it, art fine pen or something like that. And yeah, I've just done it in those. You get you get some awesome sharp lines and that sort of stuff. And like I said, the artwork was done for the constellations, so I didn't really have to do much to it for the mint to do anything to it, sort of stuff. Yeah, so all I can say claim to is the emu in the sky. The fantastic etch has done all those dances and the emu down the bottom sitting down. I wish I can claim fame to those, but no, that's about that. The emu is it's just a basic drawing that I've just done with the other constellations, and because it was black in the sky, it's black in the sky. Obviously, there's no nothing inside of it. You know, I had free range of the patterns and that sort of stuff. So I had to go through the wave around the back. You know, like I had to get the shape of the emu and cut certain sections off, and then the pattern sort of flowed with that sort of shape. So that's how I work with my sort of Radery patterns, if that makes sense. It's sort of my first style of Radery patterns when I first tried to have an attempt. You know, like something. You know, like I had to have go these Radery patterns because there was no one else out there doing them, and I thought I'd give it a go. My first early patterns, they were very cartoonish, and I was nearly going to throw the pin in and just go back to landscapes and portraits or whatever. But no, I stayed with it, and they started making sense, started snapping to me, and then you get out with end up with, you know, stuff like this. And so I'm still practicing doing awesome stuff. I've moved on from wood burning and that now. Now I'm in the colours, go around to a lot of schools and do a lot of I've only picked up colours about 6 years ago now. I do a lot of murals around a lot of schools and hospitals and places like that now. So just got off the black and white. Now it's all in colours and, you know, broad and it's all this Radery patterns all getting around, and I'm trying to start this little movement so people can get, and you know, like it's a big tribe we got. There should be more of it around, more of these patterns around, more appropriate, I think. Yeah.
Nice. And another question here is, do you know if any other colours were sort of tossed around? You know, we have other sort of space coins that have different coloured skies, and you know, as you were saying, black, you know, can be a bit flat and things like that. So were any other colours decided upon or for this coin?
No, well, we've been just collaborating with the mint, Dwayne. I'm sure his name was Dwayne. He was back and forwards. It was a long process, and he was telling us how the coin is going to be. I think it was down the track. He said there's going to be colour in it. It's going to be a picture of a sky, That blew me away because I just thought it was going to be, you know, just a plain cover coin. When he said there's going to be a picture of the sky, then my mind started going, now, how are they going to do that? You know, how the hell are they going to, like, and so that my mind started trying to work around that because I didn't have no colours in mine. Mine was just black and white. And what how they done it, they had to reverse it into negatives. So it fits on their stellarium in the sky, and that's how they ended up doing it. They put it in the stellarium format in the sky. The Trevor Lehman and that, they ended up doing that with stellarium. That's awesome. You get it on your phone, and you know you get all the constellations in the sky and that. So yeah, that's he done it in a negative format just to do that. But yeah, it's just no colour, no nothing like that. I just left the colours up to you guys, and came out awesome. Yeah.